House Bill 91, an act proposing an amendment to the Constitution of Kentucky relating to abortion. Representative Fischer.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Campbell, 68, for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Campbell, 68, for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 91 is a very short and simple constitutional amendment. I'll read it very quick. To protect human life, nothing in this Constitution shall be construed to secure or protect a right to abortion or require the funding of abortion. This bill passed the House last year by a vote of 71 to 21, but was not considered by the Senate due to the COVID adjournment. First of all, let me make this point clear. The right to abortion right now is nowhere to be found in the text of the Kentucky Constitution, nor the U.S. Constitution for that matter. House Bill 67 simply assures that no Kentucky court will ever be able to fashion an explicit or implicit right to abortion from the text of our state constitution. There will be no Roe v. Wade decision here in Kentucky if this passes. The regulation or elimination of abortion will be vested permanently and exclusively in the General Assembly. Since our current Constitution contains no explicit right, why do we need to confirm the absence of such a right by amendment now? For several years, abortion proponents have been executing a strategy to persuade state courts that the same right to abortion discovered in the penumbras of the U.S. Constitution should also be fabricated in their respective state constitutions. So far, 11 state Supreme Courts have agreed with that argument and have fashioned a constitutional right to abortion in those states where none existed before. We saw this strategy first work in Tennessee over a decade ago, and more recently in Iowa and Kansas. Many pro-life states have struck back against their state courts. In 2014, the people of Tennessee passed a constitutional amendment overriding its court, thus allowing the Tennessee General Assembly to pass pro-life legislation for the first time in a decade. Last week, the Kansas House and Senate passed this same amendment for placement on its ballot this year. I understand that Iowa is planning to do the same thing in defiance of its state Supreme Court decision last year. In 2018, the people of Alabama and West Virginia preemptively struck back by passing constitutional amendments that eliminated abortion in their state constitutions. And in this past November, the people of Louisiana, by a margin of 62 to 38, passed this same pro-life amendment. So why do we need to pass this now? As I've stated on this floor many times before, Kentucky is one of the most pro-life states in the nation. The people want this opportunity to weigh in on this issue. We have passed legislation like the ultrasound bill and transfer agreement requirements that have already survived challenges in federal court. We passed laws like the Pain Capable Act that have already saved hundreds of late-term babies from death chamber. These laws remain in force and have not been challenged in federal court. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford to allow abortion proponents to forum shop our state courts to invent a state constitutional right to abortion and thereby invalidate our state laws protecting unborn children. That is why we need this constitutional amendment now. Finally, as you may know, our state Supreme Court has recently invented an inherent constitutional right for our governor to unilaterally declare an emergency and issue unchallengeable orders in support of his own declaration. Nowhere in our state constitution can you find this inherent power. But do you not think that it's possible that our Supreme Court might also discover an inherent right to an abortion in the same Constitution, unless the people of Kentucky say otherwise by this constitutional amendment? Mr. Speaker, House Bill 91 will give the good people of Kentucky the opportunity to speak up for the unborn. I have great confidence that they will step up in huge numbers to protect these defenseless babies. All the pro-life and family organizations in Kentucky are actively supporting this amendment and are currently organizing a grassroots fundraising campaign to pass it. So let's pass House Bill 91 today and let the people vote yes for life. If there are no questions, Mr. Chairman, I move passage for House Bill 91.